And welcome back to another declutter. Now you might notice I am in slightly different clothing to in my previous declutters. All of those ones were filmed on the same day by my bathroom declutter, which you haven't seen yet. But when I've gone to edit the footage of my eyeshadow palette declutter, I've actually realised that I've accidentally deleted it. But not to worry, because I actually kept hold of all of the palettes that I decluttered, because I haven't had a chance to pass them along to friends and family yet, because obviously I haven't really been going out due to the current situation. So I'm just going to go back through and do another declutter. This is my current situation. It's very, very overflowing. I can just say close my drawer, so it needs a good sort out. Let's just get right in and get started. So the first thing I've got are these 4 palettes here, and these are the Revolution Neon Shadow palettes. I've got all 4 from the collection. These were £6 each. I'm going to be doing a review on these. I've literally just received them. I haven't even played with them. I've only like opened them up and looked at them, but I know people wanted reviews of them, that's why I've bought them. So I'm going to put these aside. I've got a I Heart Revolution Golden Bar, one of their chocolate bar palettes. I got this in their recent mystery bag, and it's a really pretty neutral palette. So this is brand new. I'm actually going to pop this in a giveaway for you guys. So I'll just grab myself one of these containers. I'll pop anything that's going in that container. The other thing I've got, which is the new, this is brand new, this is a Pixie palette, and this is all shimmers. And you guys know I love Pixie. They're one of my favourite, probably most talked about brands on my channel, or most used brands. But I'm not a big fan of all shimmers, and when I do want shimmers, I want something that's going to pack a little bit of a punch. So these are a bit neutral for me, but I'm going to pass these along and pop them in a giveaway for you guys. The Tammy Revolution palette, this is brand new. Again, I've bought this and I'm going to be doing a review. Bigger than what I thought it was going to be, but absolutely stunning packaging. Beautiful palette. I'm really excited to play around with that. A palette that has snuck its way back into my collection is the Morphe James Charles palette. I keep to and froing with this. It was decluttered last time and it stuck its way back in, but I've got so many other palettes now that I love more than this. Whether you love James Charles or don't love James Charles, this is a good palette. I've just fallen out of love with it, and I don't know whether it was because of all the controversy that happened, but I've just found myself not reaching for it. And the only shade that, I mean, I love the blues, but I do have them like duplicated other places now. The only shade that really stops me from getting rid of the palette is like this red colour, because it's really hard to get like a true red like that, and I'm not going to keep a full palette just for that red. I'm over it. It needs to go. The next one I've got is the Patricia Bright Revolution. This is the Rich in Colour palette. This palette is just absolutely unbelievable. In fact, this full Patricia Bright collab, including her other palette, is just absolutely unbelievable. These palettes, yes, they're pricey. They are £20. They're a little bit more than what you would pay normally from Revolution, but the quality is there, guys. These are definitely worth investing in. It's saying. I've got the Anastasia Beverly Hills Alyssa Edwards collab. This is the only Anastasia palette I own, and you know, this with the pops of colour really screams my name, and I've created a few looks with it and I've really liked every look that I've created with it, so I'm definitely holding on to this one. The next one I've got is the Patricia Bright. This is her Rich in Life palette. Not going to stick around long on this one, but I just love the neutral shades with the pops of colour. I just think these, like, if I could only have 2 palettes in my collection and nothing else, I would probably go for the 2 Patricia Bright palettes, because they're just absolutely unbelievable, and I really recommend these palettes, I really do. Contour Cosmetics Press Glitter palette. This is actually brand new. I have got all of these press glitters from a brand called, this isn't a Revolution Pro thing, but this is from a brand called Prima. You guys, if you're OGs and you followed me back in the day, you will have heard me and both me and my bestie Lucy rave on about this brand. Still absolutely love these glitters. Unfortunately, they don't manufacture in the UK anymore, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to get rid of these. I'm going to keep hold of this press glitter palette, and I'm going to pop this one in a giveaway for you guys because it's brand new. I've got the Unicorn Cosmetics Totemic palette. Produce amazing lashes, and this is a beautiful palette. It is quite pricey. It's about £25. I managed to get it for a tenner because I do have makeup artist discount with the brand. They are very pigmented shades. It is a very interesting palette, and I do like it, and I do want to play around with it a little bit more. It's not something that I would reach for on an everyday basis. The quality of the palette and the pigment and the payoff of both the shimmers and the mattes is very good, and I do want to continue to use it, and it's nice to support smaller brands as well. I know Unicorn Cosmetics has blown up quite a little bit in recent years, but it's still the girl who actually owns the brand brand was originally from Middlesbrough, which is where I'm from, so it's nice to support a local. I've got the Beauty Bay Pastels palette. This has literally just gone up as a review on my channel. I've heard mixed reviews about this. I really liked it. Like, I didn't find any issues with patchiness or pigmentation issues or anything like that. You are going to get a bit of chalkiness because they're a pastel shade. Like, they're not supposed to be opaque. I really like this, and I think for £10 you really cannot fall off. And the uniqueness of the palette is so incredible for the value, like for the money. It's so difficult to get hold of, like, just a full pastel palette, and for £10 you really cannot fall off. It's definitely staying, this one. Right, the next thing I've got is a little I Heart Revolution unicorn palette. This is quite sweet, and I actually thought about keeping this. I got this in my most recent mystery bag from the brand as well, and I do actually quite like the shades and stuff in here, but now I've just bought those neon palettes. I don't think I need another small palette, and it's brand new. I'm going to pop this in a giveaway for you guys. I've got the Pixie Heat Defense Double Tap Eye Palette. Love this. This is a really great travel palette. These mattes are really pigmented, and these shimmers, I don't know what they do, but their shimmer formula, Pixie's shimmer formula, is stunning, and every time I create an eye look with this palette, people always comment on it saying how gorgeous it is, so I can't bring myself to get rid of this one. It's staying, and I love Pixie. The next thing I've got is the Nip Fab eyeshadow palette. This is in 02 Jeweled. I recently got this in they were doing, I will have a video going up with the haul that I got. I got a big bundle off their website. It was supposed to be 220 odd quid, and I literally paid £40 for it. It had loads of different stuff from them in, so it gives me a chance to play around with their brand. Obviously I didn't get along with their mask in the past, but there's like their concealer and stuff I do like to use, so I do still want to try more from the brand. This just isn't really my cup of tea. There's other colour schemes that I prefer to this. I have kept other stuff from that bundle, but I'm going to be getting rid of this. Next thing I've got is my Revolution Rach Leary. This is well loved. Look at this, guys. This is well loved. I love this for travelling. The bronzer does run a little bit warm and ready sometimes, but I love this shade, this like bronzer, which could be used as a highlight on a deeper skin for like doing like a more golden bronze. And this is just a nice selection of shadows for taking away on holiday, so for that reason I will be keeping this one. I did get rid of the bigger collab of hers. There was a lot in there that I wasn't going to use and get the use out of, so I just felt like it would be nice to pass it along to someone else who would get use out of it. And then I've got a little Bella Pierre Cosmetics Peach Blossom eyeshadow palette. I got this in a glossy box, was it a glossy box? Oh, look fantastic. It was a beauty box, and it's super pretty, and I honestly love the colours, but I just wish there was 2 mattes and 2 shimmers, because I can't really blend out a lot with just this one shade, and I feel like I can only create like a really basic look with it, so for that reason I'm going to get rid of this one. Then I have got the Revolution Pro Regeneration Mischief Mattes palette. This, I stand by it, is an amazing colourful palette. Obviously it's not like bright, but it's not neutral either. It's just like sort of middle, it's like not pastel, but it's not bright, it's like in the middle ground. But if you're starting out and you're wanting a bright palette, I think it's a really good option. I think it's about £8, and I have used this in so many looks. I've used it so many times. I've actually like made quite a decent dent in some of these pinks, and I really like it. But now my collection's just got a lot bigger, and I just feel like I've got other palettes that I reach for, and I cannot tell you the last time I reached for this, so I'm definitely going to pass this one along. But I still do stand by the fact that this is such a good palette. Right, I've got the Soft Revolution palette. I've already decluttered the other Soft palette just because I feel like I wasn't reaching for it. This packaging is so annoying. The shimmers in here are absolutely stunning, but I mean like this green is gorgeous, and I love Soft, and it's nothing against Soft, and like she's one of my favourite channels, but I just don't ever reach for this ever, and I feel like there's someone else in my life. Like I feel like my mum, like I would never ever, like, even though I bought this my own money, I would never ever sell it. Like look at it. Like even my mum or my sister or someone could get so much more use out of this than what I do. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this. I've decided I'm gonna pass this one along. The next thing I've got is from a little glossy box. This is a Steve Laurent little Wild Thing eyeshadow palette. I think I just popped this in here because I was putting things away. This just is too neutral for me. I'm not a neutral girl, really. I'm going to pass this along to you guys and pop that in a giveaway because it is a stunning little neutral travel palette, but it's just not my cup of tea. Right, so the 2 things that I'm keeping, I'm definitely keeping these 2. These are new palettes these are the XX Revolution palettes. Now, I'm going to just quickly put a quick side note in here. If you're looking at purchasing these, be very careful with them in terms of the shimmer shades. Both my shimmer shades have smashed. The shimmers, like the palettes are unbelievable, but I don't think these would be the best thing to travel with, which is what I was aiming to use them for, because I think the shimmers are just too delicate. Unless you really pad this out and pack it, I think you're going to find that you're going to lose your shimmer. I've managed to press these back in, but you just need to be careful with them. This is the Experiment palette. I'm also keeping the Extrovert palette. I haven't actually had a chance to create a look with this yet, but I can't wait to. These are definitely, if there's one thing I can recommend from the new XX Revolution range, it's definitely these little palettes. The next thing I've got in my drawer, this is the BH Cosmetics Colour Festival palette, and I bought this because I did want to play around with a little bit more from BH Cosmetics, and like, these shimmers are quite unique. Every time I go to pick this out my drawer, because I think, do you know what, I'm going to play with that, it doesn't inspire me. I don't know what it is about the palette, it just doesn't inspire me. I think it's because it's too much of a mismatch of a range of colours, so I will probably sell this. Right, the next thing I've got is the Violet Voss x Nicole Concealio palette. This is like one of my favourite neutral palettes alongside the newer Patricia Bright palette in my collection. I know this is no longer available, but I'm keeping hold of this. I really love it. These shimmers are just, honestly, they're absolutely insane, and I just love this palette so much that I just can't bring myself to get rid of it, so this one's staying with me. Right, the next thing I've got is the Becca Volcano Goddess. I don't know what I was thinking about. It's because I fell in love with Becca Champagne Pop, and I went on this mad spending spree on Depop, and I actually got this, and it's pretty. I mean, it is, and the shades are pretty, but it's nothing special. It's a little bit boring apart from these pops of colour, so I am actually going to get rid of this one. These are the W7 Vivid palettes, which are like the dupes for the Huda ones. These are actually not bad. They were £12.95 and I got all three for £12.95. So you've got the Vivid Glowing Green. These are actually quite nice, but the shimmer shades are very difficult to work with. The mattes are nice, but the shimmers are quite difficult to work with. This one is gorgeous. It's the Punchy Pink. You've got a lot more mattes in here, and the mattes are really good quality. The shimmers, I think you need to work them on a wet brush, and I think you'd be better off putting them on a glitter glue base rather than a concealer base. I'm going to try that, and then I think you'll get the best bang for your buck, because when you swatch them, they actually are very pretty. I think they just need to go on a glitter glue base. Definitely keeping this one, and this is the Punchy Pink. And then the one that I'm really excited about, the Outrageous Orange, and this is probably my favourite colour scheme out of all of them. I think this is really gorgeous, and I really want to play around with this. These have been out for a little while, so I haven't done a video on them yet, but I think I might do a video on these. I think I'll keep these for now. I want to play around with them a little bit more and see what they're sort of like. I've got the Urban Decay Naked Heat. This and the James Charles palette constantly sneak their way back into my life. Did love it so much, and it was one of the first things I was sent in PR by Urban Decay, but I just don't reach for it anymore. And now I've got that Patricia Bright palette. I feel like I've got so many duplicates for these shades. Guys, I'm going to declutter my Urban Decay Naked Heat. I can't believe that. I've also got Naked Cherry, right? And I got this for Christmas off Doll, and I think I've used it once. I went absolutely crazy for this. I've never ever reached for it apart from once, and I don't think I will reach for it. I'm going to declutter my Naked Cherry as well. Revolution Forever Flawless Optimum palette. I actually quite like some of the shades in here. I think it's quite an interesting palette. I think I might keep hold of this one because it's quite unique in the colour scheme. Now I'm looking at it, it does inspire me, and there's some colours I do want to play around with. This Alexis Stone palette I went absolutely crazy for, and I was so excited about it. And I know, like, there's a lot of controversy again surrounding Alexis Stone. I think he's one of them people, you either love him or hate him. It's completely up to you what your opinion is on that. You can't deny that this is such a lovely colour scheme, but then there is a lot of colours in here which are so similar to each other, and it doesn't, the way it's laid out doesn't inspire me. I want to declutter it. The Lottie London palettes, these are quite sweet. I can't see myself reaching for them all of the time, but I can see myself taking them on holidays and things like that because they're quite handy, and they are very inexpensive. I wasn't a big fan of the lime green in this one, it's very duddy, but the rest of them are actually really good shades, and the shimmers are beautiful packed on the lid, and every time I've created a look with these I've got really good comments, so I'm going to keep hold of those too. So we've got my two Roxy palettes. I'm going to keep this one because I do like the pastel shades and things in here. The Ride or Die palette is quite similar to one of my Patricia Bright palettes, but I am going to keep my two Roxy palettes for now because I don't feel like I've played around with them, like had enough time to play around with them. I know I've had them a little while, but I feel like they've got like trapped in my collection underneath other things, where now I feel like I'll reach for them more. If I don't reach for them more by the time it comes to my next declutter, I will get rid of them. I've got this one here, which is the Makeup Obsession Be the Game Changer palette. It's a stunning like array of browns and pinks. I've had this for months and I've never ever reached for it, so that tells me I'm not going to, so that can go. I'm just going to reorganise and do a little bit of fast forward motion while we organise. Look how amazing that looks now. Oh my god, like that is so much more manageable. Right, let me show let me show you what I'm getting rid of. These two big palettes, all of these I'm getting rid of. 13 palettes I've got rid of. Impressed with myself there, like really impressed with myself. And this is such a much more manageable collection, and it's things that I can actually see myself reaching for, where I just wasn't reaching into this drawer as much and like digging into it, because I was like, oh my god, if I pick that up that's gonna fall over, where now it looks amazing. So guys, that is it. This is my eyeshadow palette declutter. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Is there any palettes here that I've got rid of that you are screaming at me through the screen saying, why are you getting rid of that palette? Or is there any that I've kept that you're also screaming at me saying, why have you kept that palette? Let me know that down below, and I shall see you next one. Mwah. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.